Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. Let's take a look at the headlines. The August series expiry has begun on a negative note. The Nifty has opened around the 11,000 mark. Financial stocks are leading the underperformance. September futures of Muthoot Finance have seen a surge in open interest as traders take fresh short positions on the stock. And Sun Pharma is the top gainer on the Nifty after Business Standard reports, quoting sources that the SEBI has cleared the company for allegations of fraud. And Indiabulls Housing Finance is the top loser on the Nifty. The stock will be omitted from the Nifty on September 27th and be replaced by Nestle India.
Okay, those are the top headlines for you at this hour. It's an important day. The monthly contracts for the month of August expire today. So let's tell you what's happening with the markets. Though a lot of news flow surrounding easing of FDI norms in several sectors coming about, but that's not boosting the sentiment in the street. Nifty is still trading around the mark of 11,000. But let me tell you, it's recovered from the lower levels in the opening trade, which was at 10,965 thereabouts. Sensex down about 140 points in trade. Bank Nifty down 100 points. Before we proceed, I just want to recap for August series. We started the series when Nifty was somewhere about 11,252, and for the Bank Nifty, we started the series when the index was trading at about 29,000. So the returns that you're seeing, Nifty is down so far about 2% for the series, and Bank Nifty is down about nearly 5%, which has been underperforming. And in fact, if you look at the open interest build-up during the series, there was more action seen on the Bank Nifty front, clearly underperforming the Nifty. And also, if we expire at current levels, this could be the third straight series where we could be witnessing some losses right now. So, but I think the key question will be, where does the expiry take place? So very quickly, I'm going to take you through the options data. The maximum open interest on the call side for today's expiry is at the 11,200 call, and on the put side, it is at the 11,000 strike, which also we breached, by the way, in today's session. And looking at the data, there is a lot of writing which has come in on the 11,000 put, and if you go by the premium currently, it's somewhere about 35. So the put writers of this strike suggest they're clearly safe till the index expires above that mark of 10,960, and that's where we've made the low so far, 10,965. And on the call side, a lot of OI action seen at 11,100, 11,200 strike are seeing some bit of OI addition. Remember, but the premiums have fallen because of time decay, and also they are out of the money strike. So it looks like if one is to play the 11,000 straddle, the combined premium is somewhere about 60-70 points. So that could be the range on the upside or on the downside that you can watch out, Agam.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely. And of course, as Navneet's already mentioned, things are looking precarious considering crucial levels which are in play. But let's talk about stocks which may be in focus as well. And perhaps those stocks which are, possibly seeing a lot of traction in open interest will also likely be on account of the fact that we have seen, some losers in the indices. As far as unwinding is concerned, in August series, of course, it's well, it is expiry, so we are likely to see a lot more traction there. And you do have some names that, of course, Nestle India is one of the few which is advancing after the news that we received that it will be a part of the Nifty 50, replacing Indiabulls Housing Finance. So those are just some of the stocks that we can watch out for today, Navneet.
Yeah, but on the show, we will be discussing certain stocks which are in focus where some significant moves have come about, and one of them is Sun Pharma. According to a Business Standard report, SEBI has given a clean chit to the company. It finds no merit in the allegations of fraud which were raised by a whistleblower, and the stock's seen some gains. It's also trading above its 100-day moving average. And Indiabulls, as we've been mentioning, it'll be coming out of Nifty effective September 27. That's when, by the way, the September series will also expire. And Muthoot Finance is the other one which has fallen for the second straight day. There are a lot of short positions being witnessed here, and Deccan Chronicle has stated that I think there is some strike which is going on for the last 1 week for this company for revising wages of the employees.
All right, there you have it. Well, it's time to get in our experts for today. But before that, here's a reminder. If you have any queries regarding futures and options, you can call us on 022-454-04141. Or, of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. Let's get in our experts for today then. We have Brijesh Singh of StockAxis and Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, and thanks for taking the time out. Ashish, let's start with you. Markets are looking confusing, or do you actually have a clear direction from here on?
Good morning, Agam. So I think markets are in a consolidation phase. What is very important is that we have taken support around 10,800, which was 61.8% retracement of the entire rally which we witnessed from October lows to all-time high zone. So I think it might consolidate for a while. Maybe some sharp volatility within this range could not be ruled out. The range is 10,850 on downside to 11,100. But I think the way the overall structure is panning out, the likelihood of index giving a breakout on higher side is very high. I think it's more of a buy on dips kind of market rather than buy on strength. So buy on dips, and then whenever you get a good opportunity of 70-80 bucks in Nifty, that's the time you need to book your gains, unless we see a clear decisive move beyond 11,100. So till then, I think that would be the strategy. Now, since we are already 62, 63 points down in Nifty, I think ideally around 10,960, 950, you'll again have a buy opportunity. And as Navneet was speaking about, the maximum pain point is closer to 11,000 area for option writers. So I think there's a strong likelihood they will come to support the market at these levels, because if we sustain below 10,950, 960 in the second half, then I think at that point of time even a strong sell-off could not be ruled out. So looking into the overall scheme of things, I think there is a strong likelihood 10,950, 960, some support should emerge. One should keep 10,900 as a stop loss, and at that point of time one can look for 70-80 points. But at this point of time I'll avoid any long bet. I'll wait for some dips.
Okay, avoid any long bets, wait for dips is the advice coming in from Ashish, but he's also suggested take money off the table if you're making if you're in the money by 60 to 70 points. Hi Brijesh, good morning to you and thanks a lot for joining us. How are you approaching this expiry day, especially the rollovers I was looking at, they too have not picked up too much. Would you initiate any position today, or would you wait out and probably bet on the September series now?
Good morning, Navid. See, no doubt what Ashish had said, the consolidation phase has been going on. So from my side, it is from neutral to a slightly positive side. If we talk about the higher levels, 11,130 to 11,140, the previous swings highs, which has been acting as a resistance, from there only we have got corrected, followed by the 200 simple moving average, which lies somewhere around 11,200. So 11,200 is a tough resistance to cross. So the higher side, 11,140 and 11,200 are the level which I would be watching very keenly for the September series. Regarding with the downside support has been concerned, immediate basis 10,950, which I would be watching very keenly, followed by 10,850. So this range for the consolidation, which I am looking, excuse me, which I am been looking is 10,850 to 11,150 range. From my side, is like buy near support and sell near the resistance. Purely for the intraday August series has been concerned, I would be going right now on a buy side with a strict stop loss of 10,950 and play for the reversal somewhere around 11,050 or say 11,090 zone, which I would be looking for.
Okay, so that's Brijesh's view on the Nifty, buy below 11,000. That's the way he's planning to strategize and position himself as far as the indices are concerned. But what about stocks which are looking interesting towards for our experts? Brijesh, I come back to you on stocks that you like or perhaps would want to go short on.
See, Agam, the stock which is from my side, which I would be looking, the first stock is from a metal sector, NMDC. Now the stock from 120 onwards is got corrected with volume, with the increase in volume, followed by the lower highs formation. So it's giving a bearishness for the intraday views been concerned. Taking the August series, somewhere around 78 rupees 80 paise the stock has been quoting. So present rate can be used for going short with a strict stop loss of 80 rupees 40 paisa and play for the target of 76 rupees. The second call is from a oil and gas pack, that is Petronet. Now the Petronet has been trading with higher tops and higher bottom formation on daily chart as well as on the weekly chart. And yesterday we have seen stock making a new 50-week high, and the average volume breakout we have witnessed in it. So somewhere around 258 around, if it trades, one can go for a long with a strict stop of the 255 and play for the target of 263. This both the call is for the August series itself.
Okay, Ashish, what about you? Playing safe, Dabur and Tata Global Beverages?
So Dabur, I think this is one stock which is consistently holding above this 434, 435 mark, and that was the resistance point, and it has been crossed over. We have seen good amount of long rollover in Dabur in last couple of few trading sessions. So I think at these levels the risk reward is quite favorable. 428 would be my trading stop loss. 455 is a short-term target I'm expecting in Dabur. From the insurance basket, ICICI Pru is one stock which I have been recommending consistently, and I think again stock has given a very strong breakout on a 52-week high trend. We have seen consistent build-up of long positions since 390 to 415 area. So I think this could be initiated as a buy idea. 404 would be my trading stop loss. On upside, 440 is a short-term target I'm expecting in ICICI Pru. And Tata Global, again, this stock has seen a massive OI addition in last couple of few trading sessions. And if you look at rollovers also, it's quite heavy in Tata Global. So I think it's offering a very good risk reward at current levels. 270 would be my trading stop loss for going long in Tata Global. On upside, 290 is a short-term target in the stock.
Okay. So, well, some ideas from our experts there, and some very interesting ones too. So let's talk about some other aspects that we want to talk about. And I am perhaps going to start off with Britannia. Britannia has, of course, seen a lot of strength of late, and we are looking at a surge. Of course, today we're looking at a little bit of a decline coming through, but that is after a lot of gain that we've seen off late, and it's a steady stock, something that we have seen, move and in fact outperform, if I can call it that, based on the kind of moves that we've seen in broader markets. Ashish, would you take today's down move as an opportunity to go long on Britannia? What levels would you watch out for?
No, so I think there's already a strong rally which has already taken place in Britannia from 2300 odd zone to almost 2700. So I think the stock will see some kind of cool off, some kind of consolidation before the next leg of rally starts. So I'll avoid any bet at these juncture. Maybe a dip towards 2600 could not be ruled out, but I think what is more important is we'll consolidate between 2600 to 2700 before taking any decisive up move or down move. So even if I have to take a bet in the FMCG, I think my bet would be on Dabur and in Tata Global.
Okay, so Ashish is sticking to his bets on Dabur and Tata Global Beverages. By the way, Tata Global Beverages has been trading at its all-time high levels. We did see a strong session yesterday as well. Let's discuss the stocks where we want to take some views from our experts. And on top of the list is Sun Pharma, which is also one of the top Nifty as well as the top F&O gainers for the day. And of course, the fundamental news is, according to Business Standard, that the company has received clean chit from the regulators. They found no merit in the fraud allegations which were leveled by a whistleblower. And today we've seen a strong move. In fact, the stock's trading above its 100-day moving average. But of course, on year-to-date basis, we've not seen anything from Sun Pharma. It's just about flattish or given your return. No, it's down, I guess, 1% or 1.5%. Brijesh, considering today's move of about 2.5%, the stock currently now trades above the 100 DMA. Does it warrant any trade on the upside?
See, Navneet, still the stock is been trading in the range bound session. On a downside, 403 or 405 is a support, followed by 440 to 444 is a resistance. So at this juncture of time, I'm not looking anything promising, nor from a price point of view, nor from a oscillator point of view, nor even the volume has been indicating that anything special has been there. But if we talk about the range bound, then as a trader, it's simply like buy near support and sell near the resistance. So if someone wants to go long at the present rate or going short, I would be avoiding. But if it trades below 420 or say somewhere around 415 to 418, then definitely one can go long with a stop loss of 405 and play for the target of 440 or 444.
Okay. The other stock that we want to address is Indiabulls Housing Finance. Again, under pressure, it has seen a lot of volatility, and again, something that it's tough to call on, especially in trade-in. It is going to be excluded from the Nifty from September 27th, replaced by Nestle India. It trades at a 52-week low. It's fallen by as much as 50% on a year-to-date basis. And as I have suggested, it's down today as well. It's down another 5.5%. And there is a lot of pressure for this one. Ashish, how would you address this? So if you were to take a trade on this one, what would it be?
So I think stock is definitely in a weak trend, and we have been consistently recommending a short in the idea because of a lot of concerns with regards to, first of all, the merger which is being discussed about Indiabulls Housing and Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Second, the stock is being excluded from Nifty, so I think that is also going to create a lot of selling pressure, and that's the reason we have seen some kind of sell-off which we have witnessed. And again, the stock is trading at a 52-week low. So I think all this put together, eventually I'm expecting stock to dip below 400 odd zone. But I think only thing is that since it has fallen a lot, there is going to be a lot of volatility at lower levels, which is going to hit your stop loss if you're on the short side of the trade. So the best way to play these kind of trends is to buy out of the money put options. So in that case, even if there's a huge volatility, you can still stick to your positions. So I think if someone wants to take a bet on the short side of the stock, ideally one should buy 420 strike price put of Indiabulls Housing Finance.
Okay, that's the view on Indiabulls Housing, which is down about 5%. And lastly, we just want to discuss Muthoot Finance before we move to individual queries that we have received from our viewers. Muthoot is down for the second straight day. In fact, the stock slipped below its 50 and 100-day moving average this week. And this morning, I guess Deccan Chronicle has reported about this ongoing strike, which has been there for the last 1 week, where the employers have been asking for higher wages. But gold financing companies per se in the last 1 year, be it Muthoot or Manappuram, have outperformed the markets, and this one has given you returns of nearly 50%. Very quickly, Ashish, last 2 days it's down. Would you use this as an opportunity to buy?
So I think broadly the structure of Muthoot is still intact, and till the time it is above 588. And why 588? Because if you look at the weekly charts, almost in the last 3 weeks, every time the stock has hit 588 and it has seen reversal. But what I'm not liking is that on the upside it is not crossing the resistance zone of 640. So I think till 580 it is not broken, the trend is intact. There is a possibility of stock giving a breakout, but if 588 gets broken down, that will be a weekly breakdown of last 3 weeks low. So I think that would be a sign of weakness, but till 588 is not broken, there is a strong likelihood of stock recovering towards 635, 640 area.
Okay, so there you have it. That's your view on Muthoot Finance and a bunch of stocks that we wanted to address. Well, on that note, let's also take up a few other queries which are coming through, and well, we have quite a few of them. So I'm going to start off with a query from on Facebook. For a change, we should start with queries on Facebook because we don't always take a lot of them. Brijesh Pandya says, please give us your view on Raymond. Let's pull up Raymond and see what the futures are doing. I'm not certain if it must be doing very well, but it is under pressure right now. It's down 2.6%. A lot of open interest addition. 64% rollover. Can we also take a look at how it's done over the past 1 month or 3 months, and possibly see if there is a trend there to see where Raymond is heading. Well, it's not exactly doing very well on a 1 month basis. It's down 18%. So a lot of shedding coming through when it comes to its share price. Let me take this up with Brijesh. Brijesh, would you go long? Would you go short? What would your advice to Brijesh be on Raymond?
See, it's a Agam is right now, it's a weak stock. Till stock is not giving closing above 600, 105. We would be the stock would be feeling as a selling pressure. Now at this rate of 558, I would not be going long right now, because the previous swing low was somewhere around 533. But still, the trend of the chart is not giving that much confirmation that we can see a reversal. So I would be going short in it. At right now at 558 or 560, the stock has been quoting, as I've said. So any rise somewhere around 570, one can go for a short with the strict stop loss of 585 and look for the target of 530 around, or say 540 around. So trend has been weak. use for going short rather than going long in it.
Okay, a weak trend in Raymond is what Brijesh is suggesting. Saran Gupta has a query on the 11,200 call strike of Nifty. He's purchased that after paying a premium of 109, and this is for the monthly expiry of September, which is on 26th. He wants to know whether Nifty can touch those levels of 11,200 in the next series. Ashish, what would you advise? And of course, you mentioned that buy on dips, but can that pullback rally go up to 11,200?
See, if we continuously consolidate at these levels, then there is a likelihood, because till the time we are not breaking this 10,900 decisively, then there is a strong likelihood that we might eventually consolidate first between 10,900 to 11,100 area, and once we see a decisive break above 11,100, then I think a move towards 11,250, 300 could not be ruled out. So the chances of this recovery is still very high, but what I would suggest is keep 10,900 as your stop loss. So once Nifty breaks or closes below 10,900, that's the time you need to exit your call options as well.
Okay. Well, that's the view on some of your indices. Moving on, we also have a query on Tech Mahindra, and it's a very interesting one because we have a lot of movements in the IT industry as a whole. F&O student wants a view on Tech Mahindra and levels to watch out for in the September expiry. Let's take a look at Tech Mahindra and what it's done over the past 1-2 months, because as I said, that with the strengthening dollar, it has a positive implication on IT industry, especially when it comes to the operating margin. So on a 1-month basis, you did see Tech Mahindra advance. On a 3-month basis, it hasn't really done too much. But that said, what levels to watch out for? That's what the F&O student wants to know. So Brijesh, how would you address Tech Mahindra?
See, Tech Mahindra has bounced recently from a low of 607, and it has a resistance at 695 to 698 zone. So present rate at 685. First of all, the trend has been positive, the reversal we can see, but at this juncture of time, I would be avoiding. If it trades somewhere around below 675, one can play for a long side with the stop loss of 658, play for the target of 695 zone. And here, if the stock is giving closing about 695, the next resistance level would be somewhere around 720. So trend has been positive, but risk reward ratio is not in the favor. So buy on dip strategy can be applicable.
Okay, buy on dips is the advice on Tech Mahindra. The next query is on Petronet LNG. Sanjay Dongre writes to us and he wants to know how to play Petronet LNG in the futures and options market. Remember, the stock today, I believe, it touched its 52-week high of about 261.9 and just marginally corrected from those levels. Now it is at 259. Ashish, a strong counter considering it is at 52-week high. How to position if one were to, take a fresh trade here in the F&O market?
So looks quite promising. In fact, the stock has given a massive breakout after consolidating in a range between 255 to 232, and since last 3 days we have seen a very strong price volume activity. There is some amount of consolidation or sideways trend which we are witnessing for a day or two, but eventually we expected the stock to cross even 270 to 275 kind of zone in next couple of few trading sessions. If you wants to take a bet in the futures segment, ideally 254 should be the stop loss for an upside target of 270 to 275. If you wants to play it through options, then one can buy in the month of September 270 strike price call, which is available at 4.7, 4.8. Keep 2 as in stop loss on downside, expecting this strike this option to hit a premium of 9 to 10 by the end of the expiry.
Okay, and we have a query on Yes Bank. Surprise, surprise. Well, we have Anand on YouTube who is interested in buying the Yes Bank futures at 55. This is the September series. I'm not going to use the term falling knife anymore because it's overdone, and at least in case of Yes Bank, it's more of a falling sword. It's a very heavy one too. But I'm going to leave this one to our experts. Brijesh, your advice on Yes Bank. Would you advise the viewer to buy Yes Bank at 55 should that rate come through for the September series?
Last time also, if you remember, one of the query was from Yes Bank, and I used the word that it's like catching a falling knife. Now it's become catching a falling sword. So the trend has been down, first of all. Better not to go long in it. It's a news-based counter. And as I mentioned, the previous swing lows has been broken. So now the previous swing lows, when broke, they become as a resistance. 72.5 followed by 77 is a resistance. Now 2008, if I'm not missing, that time also I've told that 2008 55 level around was a low, and if I'm not missing, a recent swing low was somewhere around 53 or say 54, and it has given a bounce back from that level. But still, overall trend has been negative. So I would avoid to go long. Chances are that stock once trades below 53, then the next level to watch would be 40, followed by 28. So better to avoid to go long on Yes Bank. There are other counters to play on a banking sector rather than going and catching this type of stocks in it.
Okay, that's a very wise advice coming in from Brijesh. There are a lot of other stocks, by the way, to take fresh positions into. I think Anand also wanted to know why it was not removed from Nifty this time, and that's got to do with the formula which NSE has, the criteria they've laid. And one of the criteria, by the way, is they take the average free float market cap of last 6 months, and that's the reason, because when you take from the first 3 months or the first 4 months of the period they took, the market cap of Yes Bank was higher, and on an average basis now it was higher than Indiabulls Housing Finance, the stock which is coming out of Nifty. In fact, it was also higher with Z Entertainment. Probably in the next revision that we see, which is a bi-yearly revision, in that it could feature to come out of the index Nifty. But going ahead, and the next stock is SBI. Ashish, I remember discussing this with you on the show. You said it did witness a 9-year breakout or something.
Yeah.
So one of our viewer wants to know how to look at this one, and if there's any trade here.
See, one thing is there, whenever you try to take a very aggressive bet on PSU, it doesn't give you a very favorable return. That is something which I've realized, despite a multi-year breakout and one of the best setup in the entire PSU banking basket. Yes, as SBI saw very strong rally from our earlier recommended level of 270 to almost 370, but at the same time, the fall was also very significant in nature. Now, considering all this, I think in a very short term, yes, some kind of recovery could not be ruled out for a move towards 300 odd zone. For that, I think 275 should be the stop loss. But honestly, this is one stock which has failed the momentum, and I think till we don't see a clear decisive move beyond 320, 330, the trend or the momentum will not be very strong in nature. So I think I'll wait for maybe another 10-15% is something which I would like to miss, but I would like to initiate a long position only once the stock sustains clearly above 320 area.
Okay, so wait to take any fresh position till the time stock trades around that level of 320 is the advice from Ashish. Just want to revisit the markets. We're still trading with a cut of about 0.5% on this expiry day. Nifty is right now below the mark of 11,000, which is a psychological level, at least to monitor even on closing basis. But I think for the day, just monitor today's low also of about 10,965. Bank Nifty is also seen correction of about nearly 0.5%. The broader markets are also witnessing some bit of selling pressure. Very quickly, in terms of individual stocks, RBL Bank, which was down 13 to 14% yesterday, is seeing some bit of relief rally maybe today, up about 4%. Coal India is up about 2%. United Spirits is having a good day. That's seen gains of 2%. Besides that, Apollo Tyres, Nestle are a couple of your other stocks which have seen gains of between 1 to 2%. And Indiabulls Housing, Yes Bank are your top F&O losers, down 5 to 5.5%. Reliance Capital, NMDC, and also something like NCC are seeing cuts of between 2 to 5% respectively.
Okay, there you have it. On that note, I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Brijesh and Ashish, for joining us and taking us through their views, as well as solving some of our viewer queries. For more updates on the F&O space, you can check our website, bloombergquint.com, specifically the futures and options pages.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.